I want to introduce Brother Abdul Malik. We have a special night tonight, subhanallah. And I listened to his story yesterday. I was surprised, mashallah. He studied in al-Qura in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca al-Mukarramah. And mashallah, he speaks Arabic very good, and he has a degree for Arabic language. Subhanallah. We have a special night tonight. Welcome to Brother Abdul Malik. فليتفضل جزاه الله خيرا. تفضل.
السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. My respected brothers and sisters, I could not find a more meaningful chapter to discuss with us tonight. I know this is the weekend of celebrating the graduation, and I could not find a more meaningful chapter of the Holy Quran that combines the totality of family experience than Surah Yusuf. And I want you to think about the nature of Surah Yusuf. In this surah, one of the things that's not mentioned is the mother. The mother of Yusuf is not mentioned. And to me, it's an indication that mothers naturally are always on guard to protect their children. But many times as fathers, we forget that we have a responsibility not only to provide for family, but to protect and to secure the well-being of our children. But then there's another part to the surah we will notice, that even when we as fathers and mothers hope to protect our children from the external adversaries, the enemies on the outside, sometimes the greatest trial for the family is on the inside. Sometimes we're worrying about what someone else may do out there, but sometimes right in the family, there's a dark secret of betrayal and deception. Sometimes in the family, the source of pain and destruction is a member of our own household. Sometimes our downfalls in life are not always the results of what others have done to us, but sometimes the things that we do to ourselves or the way we interpret other people's behavior. Because I'm here to tell you, brothers and sisters, with all due respect, nothing that anyone does to you or me can be as effective upon us only in accordance to how we interpret their actions. It's all about interpretation. What Yusuf's brothers did to him, most people would never forgive. But Yusuf, he forgave them. He knew them when they didn't even recognize him. Read the whole chapter. When Yusuf's brothers come to him, he recognizes who they are. But it's been so long, they don't even know that the man that they're dealing with is the child they thought they would destroy. And so I want you to keep in mind 3 or 4 words tonight. 1, the promise. And the promise maker is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah makes a promise, it must happen. But wherever there's a promise of blessing and prosperity and success, there will always be a plot. What do I mean about a plot? There'll always be somebody that does not want to see you succeed. There's always someone that is jealous and envious of what you possess that you yourself have nothing to do with its possession. Some people are jealous of things that people have in their life, substance. Some people are jealous of other people because Allah has given them more beauty. Sometimes a person is very attractive and people will go, excuse me sisters, they'll go, she ain't all that cute. I know what she's thinking about. But she is very cute. She's very beautiful. Or you have a nice, beautiful car and you drive up and people ask you, brother, why don't you park the car down there? Why are you trying to show off? You're not trying to show off, it's your car, it's your blessing. But there are people who are envious of what's not theirs. And so what I want to do tonight is just a few ayats. We don't have a lot of time to go through the whole chapter, which I would attempt to do. This is a lifetime study. That one chapter, Yusuf, it's something you can learn every single day. Because every day, as a parent and as a child, you need a strategy. You need a strategy for survival and a strategy for success. One of the downfalls of the Muslim community and the larger society is very few of us have ever sat down to plan our future. You ask me, well, what do you intend to do in the next 5 years? I don't know. You don't know? If you're on the planet for 100 years, you have no plan. If you're going to college, for example, what's your plan? When you get to the university, what do you intend to accomplish? What is your goal that will give you nobility and empower you and allow you 4 years later to be stronger than you were on the day of entry? What's your plan? Because a lot of time and money and energy will be spent. But what's your plan? What is your goal? What is your objective? What is your plan of execution? So here, let's listen to the surah. Just a brief part of it. I'll read from the beginning. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The chapter is entitled Surah to Yusuf. And even the chapter is named after him. That's one of the grace or the blessings of his life. He says, Alif Lam Ra. 3 letters. Allah knows best their meaning. He says, Tilka ayatul kitabul mubin. Verily these are amongst the signs of the book that are clear. Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum ta'qilun. Verily we have revealed this Qur'an in the Arabic language. For what purpose? La'allakum ta'qilun. That you may understand and reflect. That in itself deserves our attention as Muslims. The Quran is not a book to be recited for the purpose of striking into the heart of human emotions where it feels good. A lot of times people play the Quran, they say, mashallah, that recital sounds so beautiful. What did he say? I don't know. So what feels good about it? The voice? Does the message feel good? And if you can't understand the message, then how can we benefit from the message or use it as it should be used? So I want every Muslim brother and sister here to make a commitment this summer. Learn something about the Arabic language. Learn how to read and understand and use a dictionary and get the meaning and the essence and the foundation of the words, because there are words in the Quran that you cannot translate. You just can't. And those words are filled with wisdom. So he says, verily we have revealed this Quran in Arabic that you may understand. نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. Verily we rehearse unto you and we tell you some of the best of stories. It's not like a Disney storybook. No, it is a storybook of revelation. It is divine. But the Quran is a historical fact reference for man and women's relationship to the Creator and man and women's relationship to each other. The Quran gives us a peek inside of the core essence of the nature of the human being from the very creation of Adam. What do I mean by that? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, He gave Adam everything that he needed. Everything. And the only thing He said to Adam and Eve, this one tree, don't go near it. لا تقربا هذه الشجرة. Don't go near the tree. But we know something from the Quran. He went there. So we learned something about human behavior. We normally gravitate towards the things we're told to leave alone. If you want to see a kid steal a cookie out of the cookie jar in your house, Tell them this is your last cookie. Ahmed, come here. This is the last cookie. Don't take no more. And leave the room. You come back, Ahmed got crumbs on his face. Ahmed, you took the cookie? No. You got crumbs everywhere. Did you take that cookie? No. Wallah, wallah. Even he said wallah. Because he says wallahi because the adults say wallahi and he knows they're lying. Like when mommy says, tell the insurance man I'm not home. Wallahi, tell him I'm not here. My mommy said, tell you she's not home. So kids learn from us. So I want you to think about it. Temptation. What is the nature of temptation in the human spirit? All of us are tempted by things. And the things that we're tempted by are always insignificant to the things that we already have. The things that we sacrifice for in order to feed the lusts of the flesh, we always give up something bigger. For example, when you have a beautiful family, and you have a wonderful wife, and you have 3 or 4 children, and you meet a strange women or woman in society, and men run away with strange women who they don't even know, and they have a wife they've been with for 20 years, who's made every sacrifice that she could make to secure, to preserve, to protect, and to nurture her family. And a silly man will throw all of that away for a glimpse at a stranger that promises the forbidden fruit of lust. People do it every day. Don't you notice in the newspaper, especially politicians, every time a politician gets caught doing something, it's always for something small. They have it all. You sit in the White House, you're the president, you got the whole world at your disposal. But then you have that wonderful, wonderful temptation of a Monica Lewinsky. And the whole memory of a president is destroyed. Not because of the woman, no, because of the man's weakness, lacking control of his own desires. Women never make men do anything they don't want to do. We may be tested by the presence of a woman, but the test in itself is not the gateway to failure. In fact, the test itself is the gateway to strength, because Yusuf was tested. And he was strong in his conviction. So the Quran says, we reveal unto you amongst the best of stories. What is the story? بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. For what we have revealed unto thee, meaning Muhammad, of this Quran, even though before this revelation you were of those that did not know. Now what is the great story? Here's the story. إذ قال يوسف لأبيه إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبتي إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. Yusuf said to his father. Now they translate the word kawkab as najm, as a star. But there are others who say the word kawkab really means the galaxy. But Allah knows best of its proper interpretation. But according to some, he said, verily I have seen 11 stars or galaxies, and I have seen the sun, and I have seen the moon. I have seen all of them bowing unto me. Now we should remember something, that bowing is a form of respect, not always worship. Allah told the angels to bow down to Adam. He didn't tell them to worship Adam. We make tawaf around the Kaaba. We're not worshiping the Kaaba. But to a pagan, it can be perceived that way. So it's not what you see, it's what's behind the symbol that what you see represents. So Yusuf had a vision. He had a vision. He said, verily I have seen, Father, 11 stars, the sun and the moon, I have seen them bowing unto me. Now, here's a hint to fathers. How many of you are here fathers? Raise your hand. You won't claim your kids, brothers? How many of you are fathers? Raise your hand. Good. This sort of is an indication that between a father and a son is a loving, respectful, spiritual relationship. Yusuf loved his father. How many of our sons can share with us their greatest dreams and aspirations as fathers and as mothers, and not have us crush their ambition? You know how many young people I've met who, when they tell their parents they want to do something, their parents crush their ambition. They say, you know, Mom, I really want to become a school teacher. And I really want to impact education and change the world. Let's say, you know what? Teachers don't make any money. You must become a doctor. Really? Can you imagine the doctors who don't want to be doctors, how their performance are in these medical facilities? Can you imagine going to work every day hating exactly what you do? You will never serve a patient well if you hate exactly what you're doing. In order to be successful in life at what you do, you must love it. You must love it. You must love being a Muslim to be successful. You can't be a Muslim by circumstance and be a Muslim by, you know, well, my mom is Muslim, I'm Muslim, I'm Muslim, yeah, I'm Muslim, I don't know that. No, but when you love being a Muslim and people ask you, are you a Muslim? I remember in TSA, I was coming through the airport, the guy stopped me, he said, Abdul, Malik, you Muslim? I said to him, what else would I be? Like, this is what I call intellectual, spiritual retardation and the absence of security. Why is it your business what I believe? I told him, give me my paperwork. Just stamp it and let's go. Don't be asking me questions like this. Don't get excited. I told him, you don't get excited. Who are you to ask me if I'm a Muslim? Of course I'm a Muslim. You think I would deny my faith? Why? Because they think we are intimidated already and we're scared. But we have nothing to be afraid of because we haven't done anything and we don't intend to do anything. But if people can make you afraid, they'll make you deny yourself. And many Muslims today, they're scared, they're in denial. You see them in the mall. Assalamu alaikum. Hi, brother. I said, Assalamu alaikum. Hi, brother. Assalamu alaikum. Some brothers are so scared when they go to the mall, they drop their wives off in hijab in front of the mall, they go park the car 20 cars down and tell us to stop meet you. Why? Because you don't want to walk in. You know everybody's going to be looking. But if you love Islam, you'll park that car, you'll hold your wife's hand if necessary, you'll walk in the mall with your head up and you'll shop, and everyone around you will know that that Muslim woman right there, don't you disrespect her because you could lose your life. I remember when I became a Muslim in New York City, you could never disrespect a Muslim woman. Sisters could walk down the street 3, 4, 5 in the morning, coming from the masjid in Ramadan or coming from work, and even the most baddest of gangsters would move back and say, here come that Muslim sister, move back. Move back. Because I grew up around Muslim brothers who you couldn't just disrespect. Muslim women or Muslim children, and you couldn't desecrate the masjid. There was a high price to pay if you disrespect our women. And that's how you can know the quality of manhood amongst men. Whether or not they protect their daughters and the women of their home. That's how you know the quality of manhood, when you allow women to be disrespected by others and we run the other way, you know the men have become cowards. But when you stand up, as a Muslim should always do, we should always protect our sisters at any price. No matter what it takes, we should be willing, if necessary, to die for their honor and their dignity, because they're worth that and more, because they are the flagships of Islam. They are the mothers to give birth to unborn generations who will worship Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And when we show the world that we respect them and we honor them, then the world will learn to respect us more. You know why? Because everyone who attacks Muslims, they always focus on how the women are treated. Women, you lose the community. That's why they're working hard on Muslim women. Oh, Fox News wants you so bad. So he says, listen, قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيد لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين. Listen to the advice according to the Quran. Yusuf's father told him, don't tell your brothers about this vision. Now naturally as human beings, when something great happens, you want to tell people that are close to you. Well, I'm here to tell you something tonight. If you got a big dream in life, and a vision for your life to be successful, my advice to you is, don't tell people. Just go do it. You want to go back to school, become a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or if you want to memorize Quran, or you want to memorize Hadith, don't tell people. When I first wanted to learn Arabic, you know what people told me? I said, brother, you're going to study Arabic in Islam? You're going to be poor. How are you going to find a job? Who's going to hire you? What are you going to do with Islam? This is coming from Muslims. And I told my teacher what the other Muslims were saying. He said, brother, well, who is the provider? I said, Allah. He said, then why you worry about what they have to say? It doesn't matter what they think. And the same people, when I came back to America, they call me sometimes to borrow money. I said, what happened? Then you go to college? Don't you have a degree in computer engineering and all those great man-made subjects? Don't you have some money? You mean to tell me to go study the teachings of Islam and the life works of Prophet Muhammad is seen as a waste of time and the gateway to poverty? Why would that be? Do you think Allah would not provide for a man or a woman who went in his path to seek knowledge of the faith in order to be an instrument of his will to bring the message of Islam into the gateways of North America? Do you think Allah would forsake you if you stood up for him? Never! Allah gives to the birds. The Prophet ﷺ said if the human being had the same trust as the birds have in Allah, Allah would provide for them in the same way. I'm here to tell you, if you ever have a big dream, don't tell people about it. Just go do it. And your big dream could be just marrying that wonderful sister that you think her father will tell you no. There's some brothers, they want to ask the brother, I want to ask his brother for his daughter. He's going to say no. I know he's going to say no. Then you tell your best friend, brother, you know, I'm going to ask brother Ahmed for his daughter. He said, brother Ahmed is mean. You don't know that brother's real mean. Don't ask him. He said, brother, but I had this vision that, you know, she's going to say yes. He's like, brother, you better not do that. Plus, that's not a good sister for you. She has some really ugly laundry. I'll tell you about it later. And you believe him. And you come back next week, and the same brother who told you not to ask Chef Ahmed, he didn't ask Chef Ahmed, he's engaged to the sister. It happens all the time. That's why you got to, shh, be quiet. That's why the government pays so much for gathering what they call human intelligence, because there's nothing more powerful than information. So you got to learn there are times in your life, shh, just be quiet. Go do what you're going to do. You're going to build a new masjid, go build it. You're going to open up a school, go do it. You want to start a fashion design company for Muslim women, just go do it. You want to start your own business, you believe that you can compete with Microsoft and be bigger than Bill Gates. Don't tell people, because some people, when they don't understand, they make mockery of what they can't see. I always tell parents, never give your children your vision, because it's too small for them. Kids dream big. But as you become an adult, we become very complacent and afraid, and we just want to live a normal, simple life where there's no inhibitions. No, we don't want to struggle. But Yusuf's vision shows us that where there's a great blessing, there's a great trial. Wherever there's a great blessing to be obtained, there will be trials and tribulations. If you want it easy, then you just live and die. But if you want to be successful in life, you must prepare your mind, body, and soul for the struggle. If you're willing to pay the highest price for your biggest dreams, you can have anything you want. And can't nobody stop you. I remember some Muslim sisters would say, and brothers say, well, sister, I don't know if they're going to hire you with hijab on. Look at the logic. If you have on hijab, you won't get the job. So all the women without hijab should be working. And all the women that have weaves on should have a job. But they don't. The unemployment rate is extremely high. But if you're a Muslim woman with hijab, and as I said in the Jummah khutbah, or the lecture on Friday, and you found the cure to cancer, and you were a medical doctor, and you were wonderful in your practice, you know how many women would come to you when they come into your office, they say, good morning, Dr. Khadija, and say, how are you doing? Susan, sit down. How's the family? How's your children? How's your pregnancy coming along? Okay, we're going to do a little blood work, and then we're going to run your insurance, and we'll do a few things, and you showed her kindness. I was reading a short hadith, a brother gave me a book last night from Kuwait, and there was a short hadith in there. Beautiful hadith. The Prophet's wisdom is magnificent. He said, أَفْضَلُ شَيْءٍ عَلَى الْمِيزَانِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَوْ كَمَا قَالَ خُلَقَ الْحَسَنِ. He said the most weighty thing on the day of judgment, on the scale with Allah, will be good character. I was telling Brother Hatim, I was in IHOP. And an amazing thing happened. I went there to get me a little egg with spinach and little vegetables. You know, when you're fat, you try to eat healthy food and lose weight. So this guy was serving me named Keith, and his character was amazing. I said, Keith, number one, I don't want my food cooked next to any meat. He said, well, we'll use the pancake grill. And I said, I don't want no grease and none of that stuff. He said, okay. He came back. He said, we'll cook it on the pancake grill. He gave me my eggs, and gave me my toast, and gave me my potatoes, everything. And he was so nice. He never said to me, you know, this is our company, we don't have to make exceptions for you, we don't care about your religion. He did everything. So I said, Keith, come here. Are you like this with everybody? He said, yes, sir. I said, you're this nice with everybody? He said, yes, sir. So I have a big mouth, and some people label me crazy, and it may be true to an extent. So I stood up in IHOP and I said, all of you who work here, is Keith this nice to everybody? They said, absolutely. So I said, we need to take a collection for Keith so he can own the Clippers. Because the Clippers basketball team could use someone like that. He was a European American, but he was a very well-refined human being. And I said, you know what, we need Muslims just like him. Just in his service. I didn't ask him his religion. His behavior was that of a Muslim. His character, his kindness, his respect, his hospitality, his humility was that. I said, mashallah, this guy here, this is the character of the Muslim. So now, in Yusuf's case, what did his father say? He gave him advice. He said, you cannot tell your vision to your brothers. Why? He said, verily they'll plot against you. For indeed, Shaitan is to man or mankind an open enemy. See, sometimes people do you wrong. It's not them. It's Shaitan using them. Sometimes you got to look past the person. And you got to say, you know what? This is Shaitan. This is indeed Shaitan. The devil is working through this person. I'll give you an example. If you're a student and you're trying to study all night, you have an exam, and one of your siblings keep coming in the room and they want to put on YouTube, they want to play a video, and then they really test your patience. They blast the Quran. I bet you won't say turn the Quran down. That's Allah's book. They blast it, right? Because they want you definitely to fail. And you come and say, come on, man, turn the Quran off. Oh, turn the Quran off? Oh, I knew you wasn't a good Muslim. You want me to turn the Quran off? Astaghfirullah. You're the munafiq of the highest class. Now you feel guilty because you said turn the Quran off. But they turned it on for the wrong reason. You got to know people will work you. I watch mothers and daughters. Sometimes they go at it. Sometimes, girl, your mother is so mad that your father done spoiled you. And your father is so focused on you now. Every time you talk to your dad, oh, I got to take Khadija here tomorrow. I'm going to take Fatima shopping. I'm doing this. And your mother's thinking, I don't want to hit on my Fatima. Enough! And she just comes in the room and knocks your stuff over accidentally, she says. And you got to pick it all up. You say, Mom, oh, I'm so sorry. She's not sorry. Your father is starting to make her angry. That's why as fathers, we have to be mindful when we talk to our children, you know. Kids watch. Kids can tell you right, I can ask any kid right now, who's the favorite child of the family? Let's say, oh, the favorite? Ahmed, the one I punch in the mouth all the time. Because my dad is always bringing him a gift. No, as parents, you have to pay attention. I used to do some counseling with Muslim families. And sometimes you'd be surprised what siblings have done to siblings. It'll blow your mind. I seen a kid who had a scissor cut on his leg, another one, the same kid. His brother burnt him across the navel with an iron. He acted like he was going to iron his shirt for him. He got close and he hit him with the iron and just burned him. Another kid took a kid's hand and held it on a light bulb, a hot light bulb that was lit, held his hand there and got a big bubble. Because siblings can be very jealous. Oh yeah, sometimes sibling rivalry can mean death and destruction for you. So Yusuf's father gave him a strategy. Number one, shh. Why? Because the father already knew something about them. This is why as fathers, we got to pay attention to the children. Yusuf's father knew that his sons had jealousy for Yusuf. And jealousy is dangerous. Jealousy and envy is dangerous. It'll make you do crazy things. Jealousy will make you kill somebody because it's an internal rage that has no outlet except istighfar. The only way to overcome jealousy is to make istighfar with Allah and say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Because shaitan, he works through the hearts of men and women, through the gateway of jealousy, anger, and envy. Oh, the devil has a tool. And he uses those tools and those instruments. So now with Yusuf, his father said, one rule, don't tell him nothing. Be quiet. Now, let's go on, and then we're going to end. He says, وَكَذَلِكَ يَجْتَبِيكَ رَبُّكَ وَيُعَلِّمُكَ مِنَ التَّأْوِيلِ الْحَدِيثِ وَيُتِمُّ نِعْمَتُهُ عَلَيْكَ وَعَلَى آلِ يَعْقُوبَ كَمَا أَتَمَّهَا عَلَى أَبَوَيْكَ مِنْ قَبْلِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. He said, indeed, Allah has chosen you and He will teach you and grant you the wisdom and the interpretations of ahadith. And He will complete His favor upon you as He did so for the children of Yaqub, as He completed His favor upon the parents, or the people before Him, in the family of Ibrahim and Ishaq. Verily Allah is all-knowing, He is forever wise. Now, I end with that for a reason. I think it's very important for each and every one of us here, as Muslims, especially the young people, get a vision for your life. Get a vision. What would you like to achieve? Your mothers and fathers have invested their time, their money, their resources. Some have made tremendous sacrifices. There are parents who have sacrificed their educational ambitions, especially mothers, to watch their children. I met sisters who had PhDs. Well, after they got married and they had a PhD, they would even enter the workforce. They had all the qualifications. They said, you know what? Alhamdulillah, the money my husband made, he's not rich, but alhamdulillah, it's sufficient. There's some women, they're forever grateful. There's some women who have good husbands. Those women appreciate everything that the man does. The littlest things. She says, shukran, thank you. And you say, but honey, it's nothing. I couldn't afford 7 rolls, I got you 1. She says, alhamdulillah. 1 is better than none. Maybe I wouldn't like the 7, but this 1 rolls. It's not what you bring, it's the fact that you thought of me. The same thing for the men. When we show gratitude and appreciation for the little things that our wives and our children do for us, it means a lot. So Yusuf was appreciative of the love of his father. And because he appreciated the love of his father, he sought his father's guidance. That's a lesson to every young man and woman here. When you want guidance in life, and you want to talk to someone, the person you should be able to speak to should be your mother or your father. But then we have a problem with parents sometimes. We tell our kids, if you have any problem, come and see me. Any problem, I'm your father, let me know. And the girl is saying, okay, I just got accepted in college, I'm at USF. I've been in the Muslim community my whole life. I wear hijab and everything, nobody never said nothing to me. The Muslim boys didn't even say anything. But she's in class now, and she's leaving class, and that little young brother comes up to her, who's not a Muslim, and he says, excuse me, salam alaikum. He says, wa alaikum salam. How can I help you? Because I just want to know a little about Islam, like what the Muslims believe in. She gets excited. You want to know about my faith? Oh my God, what do you want to know? Yeah, I have a brochure, I'll bring you Quran, bring everything. But really, you don't want to know about Islam, you want to know about you. But he realized that what you love is religion. Oh, the snakes that are out there, they're going to study those of you that come into the campus. They're going to talk to you. A snake will tell you what you want to hear. That's what politicians are. Most of them, they snakes. They tell people what they want to hear. They don't tell the truth. They tell them what they want to hear. And when people hear what they want to hear, they believe it. But if you're a Muslim and you're wise, when you hear what you want to hear, you'll examine it and wait to see if the words are met with action. So when a girl comes home now, fathers, and that little boy said to her, you know, Fatima, you're real pretty. I've seen a lot of Muslim girls, but you have captured my attention. Can we have a date? She says, no, I don't do that. I'm Muslim. So what do? We just get married. Oh, I want to marry you. I'm ready too. We can get married. Where do I have to go? We have to talk to my father. Where is he? Now your daughter come home, brother, and she says to you, Assalamu alaikum, Mama. You know, Mama, something strange happened. I was in school. This boy is so crazy. You say he's crazy, but you still think he's cute, even though he's not a Muslim. Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. But what do you do now, Father, when your daughter says, you know, he was asking about Islam, and I gave him a dawah brochure now. Astaghfirullah, you talk to him? Wallahi Rabbul Ka'bah, tomorrow you're going to the homeland. Wallahi ruh ala al-bilad, khalas! It happened. It's like, wait, I'm getting deported, what did I do wrong? You're going back to the homeland, that's it. You spoke to him? Yeah. Now see, fathers, here's the contradiction. We send our kids to a public institution that does not have an Islamic characteristic to it. It's a place of co-ed. What do you expect to happen? It will happen. Same thing for the young brother who has memorized Quran, mashallah. He's been in the masjid his whole life. He's been in Muslim school. He goes to school now, to the university, and the girl that's not properly dressed, she walks up to him. She says, you know, what's your name? His name's Muhammad. Muhammad, I like your beard. It looks so cute. I do? Yeah. Well, you like my beard? Well, it's the sunnah of the Prophet. Well, who's the Prophet? Muhammad. Oh, tell me more. Well, Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what does that mean? Well, in Arabic, that means peace be upon him. Now, you tell her all about Prophet Muhammad, guess what? She's not concerned about Prophet Muhammad. She just wants to get you to talk. And now you talking, and now you want her email, and you want to send her books, and she gonna send you a hook right in your mouth. Bam, got it. Because we don't teach our kids how to survive in the real world. And the girls today in the college campus are bold. They'll grab you by your hand. They'll say, come here, Muhammad. Like, no, I'm Muslim, don't touch me. Shut up, come here. Girls, come here, he seems to be scared. Do you have a girlfriend? No, we don't do those things. No, we have a girlfriend. Why are you asking me? That's haram. What is haram? No, we have to have an honest conversation with these young children, or young men and women, and prepare them. And one of the greatest tragedies right now is the gateway of secrecy is these computers in our homes. If I was the parents, and I'm a parent, I'm against allowing children to have access to technology unsupervised and without limitations. I don't believe a kid should ever have a password. Never. You make friends with women, and it turns out to be a man. It happens. Oh yeah. I made friends one time with a bunch of kids, and they didn't even know it was me. They were family members. And I had them tell me their whole life story. And then I said, by the way, this is Abdul Malik, and the screen went blank. They said, why did you do that? I said, I'm telling you, I'm trying to prove a point. That when you're young, you're dumb, stupid, inexperienced, and you think you know everything. That's what makes you the perfect candidate for deception. You know it all. So as young people, if we want wisdom, we get it from our elders. I tell the young people that are here, when you go to college, or you're already in college, you never turn on your mother and father for a stranger. Never let a stranger tell you that Islam is oppressive, and if he was one of us, he would be free. Free to do what? What are they doing that they're so free? Drinking, hanging out, partying? I don't want to go down the list of the evil things that take place in the campus life. But there's nothing more precious and nothing more valuable for the Muslim than Allah's guidance. I don't care how much fun it looks like. It looks fun. Everything looks like it's fun until you get the consequences. So in the story of Yusuf, we learned something beautiful. Number one, the power of vision. Number two, the relationship between parental guidance. We learn that there's envy and jealousy where there's success. But as much as there's a promise and a plot, there's a process. Meaning, if you strive for greatness, you will have to go through a struggle. One of the things that parents have not done, and I believe they should do it, my time is up, and I'll say this and I'll end. One of the things that parents need to do, you need to tell your children you struggle. See, I watch some Muslim parents in America who, they've been working so hard, they made money. You go to their house, their kids are so spoiled, they won't even take out the garbage, they don't do nothing. Kids spend all the money, they buy them a car, they let them do everything they want to do. And that's going to be your nightmare. We have to discipline our young brothers and sisters and our children and give them responsibility and tell them how you struggled in America to become successful. Tell them all the things you've gone through. Tell them back home how the people back home in some countries still walk 5 miles in the morning to get 1 bucket of water. Tell them how people around the world don't have electricity. Tell them that going to college in America is not just a privilege and an honor, but with it comes a tremendous responsibility, because you are the beacon of hope for unborn generations of Muslims that you're responsible to lay for them a platform of success. Tell them their duties and responsibilities that come with freedom and opportunity. Tell them. I'll tell you something right now. Going to college and having an Islamic environment like this in education is an experience of a lifetime. That would be so wonderful if others could have it. Some of us don't know the blessing and the beauty of Islam because we haven't seen the other side, and it's dark on the other side. I'll tell you right now, don't you ever go to the other side, because for many it's a door of no return. Islam is so beautiful, and as I listen to my brothers and sisters from overseas of what the internet is doing and what Western influence is doing to the young people, in the heart of Islam, the youth are lost. Because the people give them material success, but they don't give them intellectual development. They don't teach them to read the Quran with the sense of not just recitation and memorization, but look at it as a source of guidance and wisdom that will inform you how to live a life with purpose and to be productive. So when you go to the college campus, or you're already on the college campus, I want you to consider this, that as a Muslim, you are to be one of the best. as I said in the speech on Friday. We don't say that Muslims are better than anyone else. We say that Muslims are unique, and they have a characteristic that is uniquely theirs, that is rooted in their love for Allah, their love for the Prophet, and the love they have for this ummah. So with that being said, I'll end and pray that Allah will bless us and give us success, inshallah. Ameen? I know that's all of the hats, that was it.
No, actually, I came to give you the choice. Now it's the question-answer session. If you want him to continue, he can continue. If you want to ask questions, we can take a few questions, inshallah. Your choice.
I have a question.
Yeah, you can do the questions. I've said enough. If I've said enough and you get something out of it, alhamdulillah. Yes, sir. Ameen, we want us.
Imam, I mean, you studied in Mecca al-Mukarramah.
Yes.
Arabic language. In your experience now, what's the better method, for learning Arabic language, especially here?
Well, it's amazing. I'll tell you something. My first lessons in Arabic was in America. I studied 1 year with a brother named Abdul. He gave me a free Arabic course. The course was $23 an hour. That's 20-something years ago. But I couldn't afford it. And he gave me the lessons for free. Every Sunday I met him for 2 hours, one-on-one. He taught me Arabic grammar, and that gave me a foundation. When I went to Mecca, I went for Hajj, but I didn't leave. I was one of those people who went for Hajj who won't leave the country. I was an illegal alien, whatever that means. But I wound up staying. And when I got into the Ma'had al-Lughat al-Arabiyyah, we had wonderful teachers from all over the Muslim world. Egyptians, Jordanians, Palestinians, Sudanese, Saudi teachers. But we had a wonderful group of teachers. And one of the things that I find to learn the Arabic language is you need an environment. But there was a gentleman in New York City that had a community of Muslim converts and children born in Islam. His whole community of children spoke fluent Arabic, Fusha. The kids give the khutbah in Arabic, and the adults had the second khutbah in English. But they learned Arabic in America. They had teachers from Sudan and Morocco and Egypt. And they taught them Arabic, and the kids were forbidden to speak English amongst themselves. They could only speak Arabic. So the best thing to do to learn the language, first, is the student has to be dedicated. You can have the best teachers in the world. It starts with the student. I was hungry to learn Arabic. I was so motivated, I went 10,000 miles by myself. My mother allowed me and my father allowed me to go to Mecca. I was only 16 years old. But my mind was made up. I was going to learn the Arabic language. And when you put the environment, even we can do it here in Florida, if the young people are taught early on the importance of Arabic language and the parents speak to them in Arabic, then we can have an institution where it becomes mandatory. If you put a group of young people together who really want to learn the Arabic language and you have a beautiful curriculum, and the policy is no speaking English, you'll learn. The brothers who used to take me around in Jeddah, I always met with brothers on Jeddah. They would take me all around. Every house I went to, they would make me repeat the same thing. I studied the Quran in the Haram for the nutq, for pronunciation. And you have to be patient, My teacher, I used to sit. Now imagine I'm like 16. I'm still a little kid, but I used to sit with the kids that were 4 and 5 years old and 6 years old. So I'm the biggest kid in the circle, and I'm reading for maybe 1 hour, the same Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Qul a'udhu birabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, and I was reading it over and over and over. Now I'm telling the guy I want to go to Baqarah, and he tells me just wait. You'll get to Baqarah. You'll get to the cow. You want meat? I'm trying to get you to drink some milk, baby, because I was a baby, and my tongue was adjusted to the Arabic language. So the Quran will adjust the tongue. And not only the Quran will adjust your tongue, the Quran will give you vocabulary. It will give you means of expression where you can speak Arabic and the thoughts in your head is not memorized of, okay, how do I say this word? No, it'll just come out of you. That's why I have found students who memorize Quran and they come to America, they get accepted in PhD programs like that because their mind is already in tune with holding data. And there's nothing more sacred you can hold in your mind than the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reflect upon the wisdom that He has given. So I think we can learn Arabic right here. You know what's the problem, brother? Attitude. Attitude. People say, I'm not learning Arabic for. I don't need Arabic. What am I going to do with Arabic? That's the problem right there. Well, in the Homeland Security, they don't ask that question. The U.S. government got a whole curriculum at a school in Virginia that teaches Arabic to elementary kids because they realize that the Arab and Muslim community is an essential body of the world that they need now to communicate with us in the languages in which we speak. So language, just for the record, what does Allah say about language in the Quran? Bismillah ar-Rahman, He says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمٍ. We never sent a messenger with the message except speaking the language of the people. That's why I believe when Imam comes to America, any Imam, we should encourage the Imam and let the Imam go to school to perfect the English language. Why? Because if he's a scholar in Arabic and he learns English, he will affect a larger audience of the people and his presence and his value will be maximized. But there's some people, they don't want Imams to learn English because that means the Imam is free. He can go out now and intermingle into the larger American society. There are people, when you're the Imam, they want to keep you locked in the building. They don't want you, where you going, Imam? I'm going over here, okay, we'll take you. They don't want him to drive. They don't want him to see that there's bigger opportunities in America, that there's wealth that can be created, that he can own businesses and he can do things that are magnificent. They don't want him to see that. Stay here for $250 a week and sleep behind the minbar. No, Arabic can be learned right here. And the only thing you need is a dedicated student. Because we have great Arabic teachers in America, men and women. And if you want to learn the language, you can. But a lot of the young people, the kids, they have an attitude. What am I learning Arabic for? What is it going to do for me? No, it's the reverse. What can you do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because if you study history, and I'll end with this point, when colonial powers conquer a country, one of the first things they change is the language of the people. When we had slavery in America, you can't find one African American out of 40 million that speaks any native tongue of the indigenous people of Africa from the tribes in which they came. That's why we're so crazy. We have no knowledge of who we are as a people. We don't know the true living God. Many of our ancestors were Muslims. We make fun of Islam. Why? Because our captors and our enemies, they have destroyed everything in us, and the only thing that can resurrect it is Islam. And that's why people don't like Islam, because it has the power to transform the mind of the worst person in society, as it did for the worst of the Arabs of the days of Jahiliyyah. It made them the custodians of freedom, globally speaking, in the time in which they live. So that's what I say. We need to learn Arabic as much as possible and teach it to the children. Early on, mandatory part of the curriculum. And they will learn the benefit of Arabic as they're taught the Quran and given lessons that relate to their life. See, I believe we need to learn how to teach. Like if you go to prison and give a class on marriage, the inmates look at you like you're crazy. They got 25 to life and you're talking about the rules of marriage in Islam. Really? So a lot of times when we teach our youth, we're giving them subjects that they don't relate to it. I see people in Jummah sometimes. When I go visit different masjids, they be sleeping in the khutbah. And the brother reading the khutbah is reading it in Arabic, but he don't even understand what he's reading. But it's tradition. And they got 800 people for Jumu'ah prayer. We can't continue to do that. So that's what I say, because that's a very important point. But inshallah, we'll take another question.
Sisters, any questions?
Or comment, if they want to comment.
Or comment.
Yes, my sister.
I guess it's a comment going off your previous question. I think one thing that needs to change is how Arabic is taught.
Say that again. Say it loud. Because I want everybody to hear that. I agree with you.
Yeah, we need to change how Arabic is taught. I mean, I know for me, going to school, learning Arabic was something that I kind of didn't like doing because, I don't know, like people just, it turns you away from it. And so, a couple summers ago, I got a chance to, attend a program, and just the way that we were taught Arabic and the way we were taught the Arabic of the Quran, it opens your eyes and you're like, whoa, this is really cool. And I think if we had that same mentality when you're teaching children in school, maybe instead of like shoving it down their throats and turning it to something they don't like and actually making it something that's relatable and something you enjoy learning, something, that you understand that learning it brings you closer to Allah and like getting closer to understanding the Quran, then that will change and people will actually want to learn Arabic.
Now see what you just said? That is a scientific approach to education. It's not just for Arabic. It's for any subject. Sometimes we got really bad teachers teaching great subjects, and they destroy the subject. See, all of the teachers I had in Mecca, all of them, the teachers I had, they were beautiful people. I had one teacher though that made me real angry. He was in my last year, he was the Quran teacher. And he was a PhD holder with Quran, but he was mean. And one time I was reading a surah and I made a mistake. One mistake. He goes, "What are you reading like that for? That's the book of Allah. You don't make that mistake." I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Really? I mean, I made a mistake in my recitation and probably got blessings, and you cursing me like you've been inspired by Satan and you're the Quran teacher. No, you see, I'm going to tell you something I believe is a great conspiracy. I believe the people who wanted Muslims to fall, they made them teach religion in a harsh way. Let me give you an example. Can I stand up?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll give you an example. We have little Ahmed over here. I love the name Ahmed, but I'll say the name Hatem this time. We have little Hatem coming to school every day. And he's got an old teacher that's dressed real raggedy and bummy with ketchup and mustard on his thobe and or on his shirt, whatever it is. And he's got a stick in his hand. Come here. Sit down. Open your book. Did you do the homework? No. You didn't do the homework? You're ifrit. Smack him, you little shit. You didn't do your homework. Now. Now here comes another teacher from the colonial schools. Good morning, Ahmed. How are you doing? Ahmed, this morning we will start out with a little orange juice from Tropicana. Likewise, we have a little snack for you from the hostess company, and we'll start off the day with a short movie of Walt Disney. Introduction of Mickey Mouse and Minnie. Would you like anything else? And the kids got candy and juice, and the teacher's nice. Which teacher you think the kid likes most? The one that's nice to him. Well, the Quran teaches us that when Allah said to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, if your heart was hard, they would run from you. We need to make sure that the teachers that teach our children inspire in them greatness. If we got teachers that are mean and they degrade our students and tell them they're stupid and they're dumb and you're not going to learn, you're not going to be anything, that teacher, in my opinion, needs psychological evaluation and should be shown the door. No one should be allowed to abuse the mind of a child, because when people degrade you in your childhood, it lasts for a lifetime. Never let a teacher tell a kid you're stupid. That stays in your mind forever. That's why some adults right now walk around crazy, because of what people did to them in their childhood. You're so stupid. You can't spell that word, cat. You spelled it with K-A-T. It's a C. See how stupid you are? You're just like your father, stupid. No, people say dumb things like this. So I'm going back to your point. I think if you want to be a great teacher, you should always take courses on how to teach. And we should teach with love and affection. And we should know that teaching is not just a profession. See, when I find teachers who teach because they can't find another job, I don't like teachers like that. They be like, as soon as I don't want to be here, as soon as I can find me another job, I'm out of here. I hate these kids. If you hate these kids, what do you bring every day with you to work? Hatred. You park your car and you walk. You know? When you see a teacher coming like this, sit down, everybody, you taking attendance. Sit down! That teacher got problems. Especially if they married. Anything could happen at the house. Husband got mad, slept on the couch. Wife got mad, beat the kid beat the cat. She come home, she mean, and you come to class late, 1 minute late. No, it happens. We should evaluate teachers. And if they're good teachers with great knowledge, we should make it mandatory that we do workshops to find what's the best methods to teach our children. But no teacher should be allowed to abuse the mind of a child. No. Especially if we're Muslim. Yes, sir.
Thank you for talking about education for the system, for everybody. It's not the teacher's problem. I am a teacher. I was a professor who was staff teaching Arabic, and for 50 years I was teaching language, English and Arabic. I want to say to people that when I was in the 7th grade, Palestine, and in 10th grade, I was memorizing the history of Europe in English. And I was memorizing Joseph. And I was memorizing Shakespeare in English. And that's what they people taught us at that time. They were interested in teaching us those things that they were, the foreigners were talking about. They want us to change from learning Islam and Arabic to other language. My point is, if a person can learn English, and many people who are not Arabic, and many of the younger Arabic children here, they don't speak Arabic. They speak English only. If you can memorize Shakespeare, if you can learn other languages that fast, why can't you learn Arabic? Go to the Arabs, they know English perfect. They study English, they come to America, they study English, they think learning English is perfect. Go to the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Muslims. They know English, and they know Urdu and English. But do they know Arabic? They don't understand the Quran, they just read it without understanding. And what does it take? It takes to memorize, like we memorize Shakespeare, we memorize the English. Try to learn Arabic. Arabic, like you said, is good for you and for your faith and for your family and for your ummah.
Yes, sir.
Learn Arabic. It's the children must learn, the people must try.
You're a truly dedicated teacher. Are you part of the Teachers Union? Well, we have great teachers. And perhaps if many of our teachers were like you, it would be a different experience. But we also have to look at, we do have a lot of issues with teachers and students. It's both ways. But I think when it comes to children, it falls on the shoulders of the adults. We decide what our children will learn. We decide what our children will watch on television. We decide the direction which they travel, because remember, the child is entrusted to the mom and to the dad. But I love your spirit, Professor, Doctor, نشكرك يعني شاكرين الحمد لله. وأنت مستعد أن تساعدنا في تدريس اللغة العربية في هذا المكان إن شاء الله؟ تساعدنا إن شاء الله.
أنا بتشرف، أنا أفضل، لأنه بالضبط أولاد العرب.
نعم.
أولاد العرب بيعرفوش عربي في هذا البلد.
نعم، ولكن الدم ليس عليهم فقط، الأبوين مسؤولين. هم يتكلمون معهم في البيت بلغة إنجليزية. وكذلك يقول لهم لابد من تعليم اللغة الإنجليزية حتى يكون لك مستقبل عظيم، تكون دكتور يعني، تكون مهندس، تكون صاحب الأموال. هذا هو المشكلة يعني، ليس فقط عند الأولاد، المشكلة يبدأ بالأبوين. I know a lot of parents, they insist on their kids learning English because they think English gives them a future. But the future is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They should know English, no doubt. But we have to know that Arabic is important for us as a community. So I won't say any more. Our time is up, I believe. But brothers and sisters, I want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for allowing me to speak to you. I've had a great time being here. Brother Hatem is a great host. He filled me up yesterday with a lot of good food. Then we met with Brother Nasser from Kuwait. He kept us in his house for like 5 hours. Gave us a beautiful class on Kuwait, the history of Kuwait. We talked a little about Saudi and Khalij, and we talked about, you know, different places around the world. His daughter Maryam, mashallah, he said from 10 years old on, she's probably been to 50 countries. They got 60,000 pictures. So you know we could have stayed there last night until this very moment and still not been finished. But you guys have shown me a lot of love, great hospitality. My only request is show the same love that you show me, show it to each other. Not to the outside only, but that love begins on the inside. And I would like to see this community do something, and I'm talking to the youth right now. I want the young people to organize a dinner for the elders in our community, for the men and women that help build this community who are older now. I would love for you guys to put together dinner for them and serve them in their chairs. Always respect the mothers and fathers and aunts and uncles that laid the foundation for you. Because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's grace on them and their sacrifices, we stand here now. I've been talking to Muslim youth for over 25 years now. And it's been one of the best experiences of my life to travel and meet and talk to the Muslims. And now we have that poison pizza being brought in, courtesy of Domino's. Okay, may Allah bless you, and inshallah give us all tawfiq, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
For the sisters, inshallah, there will be Dr. Imam Abdul Malik will be here after Isha.
I have a doctor's degree now?
Yes, yesterday you got it, inshallah.
Shukran.
If you have any question one-on-one, inshallah, he'll be here after Salah. You can